Hello everyone, this is Joe. Today we're going to be talking about self-judgment. Self-judgment, which feels horrible. So you might catch yourself sometimes, before you're auditioning or before you're doing your self-tape, and you might catch yourself like judging your choice, judging your capacity. You might think this role is too hard for me, I'm not good enough. And so you're judging yourself before even starting that you're not going to be able to do it. Worst thing is you're judging yourself as you're acting, right? You're in the middle of a take, whether you're in an audition room or doing a tape at home, or even if you're filming or on stage. But there are even crispier feelings when you're auditioning because it gets more intense in that moment than when you're acting. And you're just like, as you're doing the scene, you're hearing this voice in your head that's just going, no, you should have done this, and why are you doing that, and you're not this enough, or your hands are too much like this, or you're like second doubting your choice. You're really like judging what you're doing in the moment, and therefore you're not in the moment anymore. And you might have caught yourself judging yourself after an audition or after a tape, thinking, why did I do that? I should have done it differently. I should have done it better. I should have done it more this or more that. And you're judging everything that you did. You might even judge yourself when you're looking at the tapes, at the takes in your tape, and judging yourself so much that you have no clarity left for you to actually choose which take you're going to send. It's a whole experience that you can have with judgment. And it's horrible. We've all been there. Self-judgment is the most useless, the most painful, the most annoying feeling, because you're looping, right? There's no way out of it. You're hurting yourself. You're being hard on yourself. You're telling yourself you're not good enough. You're telling yourself you're bad. And it just sucks, honestly. It feels terrible. And it doesn't get you anywhere, meaning you're not going to get the job by self-judging, right? Because literally, you're not doing your job when you're self-judging. You're not defending the character's needs. You're not in the scene. You're busy chatting with your ego. So you're not doing your job when you're self-judging, right? So it's just a horrible feeling. And then you take it to the next audition or the next tape because you felt so unfulfilled during the one before. So it doesn't even just stay in the moment. It's just not a sticky experience in the moment. You just carry it around. And the more you self-judge yourself, the more you self-judge yourself, etc., etc. So it's like a thing you do not want to do. And yet I do hear a lot of actors, and you might recognize yourself here, sharing before they start working with us that they're really stuck in a self-judgment loop, and it feels terrible. It doesn't get them anywhere. Once they start doing it, they don't know how to get out of the self-judgment, and it never pays off. You don't start self-judging yourself and then go, oh yeah, that worked, I booked it. No, it doesn't work. So I think that what we're going to be looking at today is the root cause of that sensation, that horrible sensation, because it's not actually what you may think. So the root cause and what's really happening is not the judgment. What's really happening is your conditioning, and I'm going to let you off the hook pretty quickly, because of course you are self-judging. You have been raised, programmed, educated, conditioned, and wired to self-judge. We've been raised, all of us, in a society where people tell you what to do. So you're at school and you're meant to sit down, so don't follow your impulses and run around. You're meant to be quiet, so don't follow your heart and talk to your friend. You are meant to learn what you're told, so again, don't listen to your heart and do what you're interested in or inspired in, but just shut up and listen and do what the authority is there to tell you. And then you're being tested on that, meaning we'll shove information down your throat that you don't want, that you're not interested in, because you do have better things to do as a child, and then we'll test you on it. So not only are we forcing you to learn it, but then we're going to determine your value on your capacity to accept having stuff shoved down your throat. So do you hear the judgment cycle here? That's how we're educated. Education is judgment. So of course you're going to self-judge yourself. You better self-judge yourself. You're a great student. You drank the Kool-Aid. You understood the recipe. The school recipe is, let's make sure I do everything that I'm told, because my safety my well-being, my being accepted, my bonding with my peers and with my teacher depends on how well they will judge me. My well-being, my capacity to connect with others and with my teacher does not depend on who I am and what I want to do and how I want to interact with people. It depends on what they want. So this whole system, this whole educative system, and unfortunately it pours down into parenting, is judgment founded on. Everything is judgment. So you end up being an actor, and of course you're going to self-judge yourself. That's the smartest thing to do. You drank the Kool-Aid, you got the lesson. If you don't abide by the rules, you will be judged, you will be rejected, you will be punished, the love will be taken away, the friendships will be taken away, shame will be poured down your throat, humiliation and punishment. There's consequences to not doing what people tell you to do in our educative system. So, of course, best, safest thing to do in the moment when you're taping and auditioning is to make sure no one's going to judge you. So you start self-judging yourself to make sure you don't get in that trap, to make sure you don't get punished, to make sure you don't get shamed, to make sure you don't make mistakes, to make sure you don't get humiliated, to make sure you don't get rejected. And that's so sad, because none of those things will give you the fulfillment that you're looking for as an artist. An artist doesn't move its chips by thinking about how they will be judged. An artist does the opposite. An artist is the one who is capable to be with themselves in such a way that they hear who they are and they do exactly what they want. An artist is not one who calculates their steps in terms of how will people will perceive me and judge me. No, you can't. So of course you are going to self-judge yourself, and of course you're going to be unfulfilled, and of course it's going to feel sucky, and you're going to feel locked into your self-judgment before, during, and after your take, in your tapes and your auditions, because you have been trained to do that, and it's the safest thing to do. So the problem is not, oh, I should self-judge, I should stop self-judging myself and take more acting classes. No, that's not going to solve anything for you. The root cause of why you are self-judging is because you have been wired to self-judge, because it's the smartest thing to do. That's how our whole entire system functions. It functions on judgment. So you've become a good student. You've become a great student to save your ass, to stay safe, to stay liked, to stay validated, to stay valued, to stay connected to your friends. You better self-judge. Except it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work in terms of fulfillment in the moment. It feels terrible. It feels sucky. It doesn't work in terms of your responsibility as an actor is to actually be there for the character's needs and not for your ego's needs. And what you're doing when you're self-judging is you're busy with your ego. You're busy having a conversation with your ego, struggling and wrestling with it. Whereas what you're really paid to do is to actually be there for your character, right? To be there for your character, to allow enough space in you to have their thoughts, to fight for what they need. But unfortunately, because you're still stuck in your wiring, there is no room inside of you for a character, because you're in survival mode. You're in ego mode. You're not present. You're busy self-judging. You're busy having a conversation with your ego. And again, it's not your fault. You've been trained to do that. And if you did well and you survived well, you became top of the class at making sure that you're self-judging, to make sure that no one else would, to make sure that you're not punished, humiliated, shamed, again, etc. So what is there to do to get out of that loop of self-judgment that doesn't feel good, that doesn't make you great as an actor, and that actually feels horrible and that you carry from one project to the next? But what there is to do is to unlearn the conditioning, right? To unlearn, to undo everything that brought you here, which is everything that has to do with people pleasing, with doing it right, with trying it at all costs to avoid mistakes. That's what you have to undo. That is what is keeping you in a jail, in a cage, incapable of actually breathing your own oxygen, incapable of being there for your character. That is what is maintaining you in the box, in the cage of self-judgment and doubt and honestly pain as an actor. So if this makes any sense, well, let us know, because that's what we do. We help people undo their resistance and their self-judgment and fears and blocks and tensions and all of that, so that you can finally have access to your true self as an artist, so that you can have access to what's in your instrument, so you can be whole, fully alive, free, instinctive. And then when you show up, then when you tape, when you audition, when you have your callbacks, when you act, then you're actually fulfilled. You're actually feeling the bubbles and the butterflies, and it's actually fun. It's not painful. You're not busy having a conversation with your ego. You're busy being a character who's fighting for their needs. And it feels so liberating. That's why you started acting in the first place, right? So yeah, if this makes any sense, if you're tired of the self-judgment and you want to start approaching this in another way, let us know. Send us a DM. In the link in the bio, you have the wait list to join our reset journey. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.